Hello and welcome to Fight Picks with the Pros. My name is Garrett Marchesano, and today we're going to review 4 fights on the upcoming UFC Fight Night featuring TJ Dillashaw versus Cory the Sandman Sandhagen in the main event. Today, as always, I'm joined by my guy, Chris Holds It Down Holdsworth.
What's up? What's up?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Introducing Fight Picks with the Pros, brought to you by FanDuel.
All right, first fight we have up, we have one of Chris's main guys. He cornermans for Darren the Damage Elkins, coming as the plus 125 underdog versus Derrick Minor or Minner? Derrick Minner, coming as the minus 150 favorite. So Elkins is looking for consecutive wins now. He's coming off a great win. He's 25-9, 8 TKOs, 5 subs. We all know one of the hidden traits of Darren Elkins, he's got great heart, great stamina. He's good everywhere. He's a very coachable guy. He's a likable guy. He's a guy I've been watching for a very long time. If you're a true MMA fan, I don't know how you cannot root for a guy like Darren Elkins, who's just bred for this type of fighting, and a guy that, you know, has great work ethic and a family that I learned about in one of these background videos that he does outside of his fighting. So very likable guy coming in this fight. He's trying to get a pair of wins together. So Chris, as a cornerman, first initial impressions. I know you don't want to give away a game plan. Chris is a cornerman for Darren Elkins in this fight. But what are your thoughts coming into this one?
Yeah, this is Darren's 24th fight in the UFC. Like I just talked about before, like anybody who's had that many fights in the UFC deserves a round of applause. He's fought the best guys in the division, and like you said, he's well-rounded. And since he came to the team, I think, when Darren first came to the team, he had all his attributes as far as like being tough and being able to take damage. And, he had his fundamental core sets, but I think he just got better technically everywhere because he really focused on, the drilling and the technical aspect of, jiu-jitsu and everything combined. And I think his game is taken off tremendously. He put a great win streak together when he first came to the team, and then, he ended up fighting some of the best guys in division. Had a few losses back-to-back. Fought Volkanovski, didn't get finished. Fought Ryan Hall, didn't get finished. And then he fought other guys, too, that all close fights. So, he's got the reach advantage on this. We know Minner is primarily, an explosive grappler. He likes to get in, with 22 subs. He's got 1 TKO and 22 subs. So, he hits hard, he throws hard, but he wants the submission.
Yeah.
He wants to try to get the submission. So, he's looking for the submission constantly. He hasn't fought anybody like Elkins yet. His last fight, he fought Charles Rosa, and Rosa's a great fighter, but Elkins is a different fighter. Mm-hmm. So it's not the MMA math. You can try to match things up, and I think the math is going to work in our favor.
I like it. Yeah, Derrick Minner, I mean, it's not often you see 26 wins and 22 submissions. Yeah. So that's something you guys are obviously looking out for. For his primary BJJ game, is he going for a lot of leg locks, arm bars, rear naked chokes? What does that look like for him?
He's kind of well versed. He's a lot of back attacks. He likes the guillotine. He likes everything. He'll go for submissions off his back, arm bars, triangles. He'll attack legs. So, nowadays, it's hard to find fighters that are just like one round. They only do one thing good. Most fighters nowadays, especially at this level, they're good everywhere. They're not only good at one submission. They're good at a lot of submissions. So we're looking out for everything. We're looking out for the striking. We're looking out for the grappling. You know how to.
Yeah. Love it. So you're a great guy to have in his corner. Of course, he's going to have those submission attempts on him. So I'm sure you guys are going through that. And Darren Elkins will have a great defense on those. She's great on the ground. Pull it out. I see this is. This is a good fight. Derrick on his side, 4th fight in the UFC, 2 wins, 1 loss. This will be his 4th one. He's got a good record. He's got a good finish rate. I like this matchup. I see what the UFC is doing. Of course, let's jump into the picks. We got to go with our main guy, Darren the Damage Elkins. So for me, I see this fight playing out. There is going to be some submission escapes needed by Darren. I think he's going to get out of many of them. I think there'll probably be 7-8 attempts throughout the fight. He'll go out of them. He'll try to keep it on the feet. He'll piece him up. I see Darren Elkins really winning the stand-up game, escaping some submissions. The only fear I have is that he gets taken down in a round or two, and that's a way for Minner to kind of steal the rounds and get a decision win. But I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I think he'll negate those. I'm going Darren Elkins by decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it safe as far as giving away. I don't want to give away how, because if I say how he's gonna win, then it might give some stuff away. So I'm gonna say Darren Elkins by decision too.
Okay, I got it. I like it. I see what you're doing.
I gotta be smart, man. You don't know who's watching these things.
You might cut the clip, send it over to Minor. Hey, he thinks he's gonna choke you out. Rear naked choke. Yeah, see. Okay, so we both got Elkins by decision. Let's jump on to the next fight. We've got local girl here, Aspen Ladd out of El Dorado Hills, coming in as a -166 favorite against Macey Chiasson, coming in as a +138 dog. So this is Ladd's comeback after being out for 1 year. She tore her ACL, MCL, and she's had no problems fighting at both 135 and 145. She's thinking all roads lead to Amanda Nunes, which is a scary, scary thought. But she is 9-1. Her only loss, I was actually there live about 10 rows back against Miranda when she just got clocked and dropped. Some say it was an early stoppage. It was a tough one, but that's her only L on her record. 6 TKOs, 1 sub. She's highly touted out here in the women's division. She's definitely a big up-and-comer. Yeah. The UFC thinks she could be a next, she is a top contender. She could be the possible next champ. She's got a great ground game. So first, what are your impressions of Aspen Ladd, and what are your thoughts of her coming into this fight?
Aspen's always impressed me. I remember watching some of her amateur fights, like on the Sacramento scene, and just watching a local fighter, go from the amateur ranks, into the pro ranks, go undefeated, and then fight in the UFC. It is awesome to see. She trains out at MMA Gold. Which recently, in the past couple of years, we became, training partners, and they come down and hop in the sparring, and Max comes down and train. And beforehand, it wasn't really like that. It was almost like a rivalry thing in Sacramento, which it shouldn't have been, So I'm glad that, that's all squashed, and we're actually cross training and stuff now, because that's how it should be. We should all, be trying to help each other, reach our goals, especially if we're locally. So I'm excited to see her back after this knee surgery. I remember she hurt her knee, and anytime you hear someone have ACL surgery with MMA, you're like, damn, you're going to be out for a while.
There's a year,
Like, are you going to be able to come back? And Josh hurt his knee around that same time, so it seems like she healed up pretty quick and is back in there. And I know Josh had some issues with the healing process and stuff, so kudos to her to see her back. Let's see how the knee's feeling. Let's see if she's confident with her wrestling and grappling abilities with recovered ACL. And
right.
Yeah, I'm a big Aspen Ladd. I see her if she's healthy and confident, taking this girl down and submitting her.
Yeah, let's look at Macey real quick. 7-1, 2 TKOs, 2 subs. She's coming off a win in March. She's 4-1 in the UFC, so that says a lot.
Oh, wow.
She has a 6-inch reach advantage. So if this stays standing, you got to think that 6 inches is a big reach advantage on the feet. And so this is a pretty evenly matched fight. It's really on the reach and on the size. It's in favor of Macey. That just shows you the skill set and the mindset of Aspen Ladd. They're just saying is a notch above what Macey's bringing to the table. So again, this is a good matchup. Shout out to the matchmaker Sean Shelby. I think this is a perfect one to get her back in the mix of a top contender. And Macey's no slouch. This is the true and blue. Is she really still at the top after that injury? Or is this going to be Macey's time to shine? And she'll be up there in top contention, coming off 4 wins in the UFC. I'm sure she'd like to have Aspen Ladd on as a feather in the cap on her record. But at the end of the day, for official fight picks, Chris, I'll let you lead this one off. Who you got?
Man, I didn't see that she has a 6-inch reach advantage. I think Aspen's going to be hungry off the layoff, and she's gonna take Macey down and win a decision victory.
Yeah, same here. I'm going with Aspen Ladd on this one. I'm a big fan of her. I think she has the technique advantage. She has the experience. And it looks like Macey's a hard person to finish. 1 loss. She's only been finished once. So I'm going to say, again, I'm going to go Aspen Ladd as well by decision.
Boom.
That'll be my official pick. All right, let's jump on to the next fight pick. Next matchup, we've got Macey, the future barber, coming in as the plus 130 dog versus Miranda, Fear the Maverick, coming in as a minus 154 favorite. So Macey Barber's been out for 13 months. She lost her last 2 fights. Both fighters are notable prospects in the UFC. They're both coming off of 2 straight, or her opponent is coming off of 2 straight W's. Macey's coming off 2 straight L's. So that's why she's a slight underdog in this fight. She's now training out of here at a Team Alpha Male, the house we're in right now. She's 8-2, so she was previously undefeated. 5 TKOs, 2 subs. How's she looking in camp? I know, again, this is where we don't want to, give away too much information. She's got that karate BJJ style. So to kick it off, Macey Barber, Chris, what are your thoughts?
Man, Macey's impressed me a lot, just overall as far as technique, the grit. I never know when, like, certain people come to the team, like, how hard they train. Like, can they show up to practice every day? Like, are they showing up to multiple practices a day? Yeah. And that one thing that stood out for me with Macey is, like, she's a grinder. She shows up to every practice. She shows up to jiu-jitsu. Some fighters hate jiu-jitsu, man. They just show up and they never want to come to jiu-jitsu. So it's awesome to see her embracing the martial arts kind of lifestyle. Yep. And she picked the right team to do that, because we all train that way and we all have that kind of same mentality. And she's been looking great. I think the change in camps, is probably going to be good for her. Anytime you lose 2 in a row, you probably are struggling in your head, like, man, what do I need to do different? Yeah. Like, what am I not doing? And maybe, coming to a different place and getting some different technique, a different environment might be the switch. So it's awesome to see. Like, I feel like she's made a lot of gains since she's been here, and she's only has room to grow. So I'm excited to see her, get back on the winning streak.
All right, so you're thinking she's going to win the fight. What's going to be your official prediction for Macey Barber?
Yeah, so this girl Miranda is no joke. 9-2, she's 5 straight wins and 2 in the UFC. So it's not like she's coming in and fighting a slouch. She's fighting a girl that's ranked right below her. So, like, she's 13 and Macey's 14. So I think there's going to be a little bit of, like, oh, let me take your spot. Who's going to take that
Who's
spot?
moving up the top 10?
Exactly.
Who's getting booted out?
And Miranda, having a PhD in studying in psychology, she's probably a real cerebral fighter. Yeah. A smart fighter. But I see Macey putting things together and either getting a TKO or even out grappling her. I think her Macey's grappling game is underrated, and she's going to showcase that.
Okay, I can see that. So Macey Barber with the TKO, maybe some ground and pound grappling. Me on the other side, I'm looking at Miranda Maverick. 5 straight wins, so that means she's coming in with a ton of confidence. There's got to be a little bit of doubt in Macey Barber's mind, coming off 2 L's and really needing this win. And the fact that Miranda's coming off 2 of those wins are in the UFC, so she's used to this big stage. The pressure should be a little bit more relaxed. She has 5 subs, so she's good on the ground. And, she's going to have a reach advantage. I'm going to go with Miranda Maverick on this one.
How dare you?
And I think she's going to end up getting the finish.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be a TKO on Miranda. And I hate to say it. Of course, I'm always pulling for the Team Alpha Male people, the fighters that are training out of this camp. But, to give you guys my best pick, I think the outcome, I'm going to go Miranda Maverick by TKO. All right, let's move on to the next pick. We got an early prediction. One of our favorite fighters of all time, Nick Diaz, coming in as the plus 122 dog at this time versus Robbie, Ruthless, Lawler, coming in as the minus 144 favorite. This is a welterweight fight taking place September 26 at UFC 266. So this will be Nick Diaz's first fight since 2015. We know that. He's 26-9, 13 TKOs, 8 subs. He's got the same mentality as his brother. It's a kill or be killed. He's always going for the finish. They never stop. They got the stamina that goes on forever. Even when their punching power fades, they still throw combos. They're still throwing punches. They never fade in the fight. It's a ridiculous trait that him and his brother have. He won 11 straight fights as a great notable feather on his cap. At one point in his career, we know he's a former Strike Force welterweight champ. 2-inch reach advantage coming into Robbie Lawler on this fight. He previously beat Robbie Lawler in a matchup. We know about both these guys, but let's kick it off with Nick Diaz. What are your thoughts about him coming back and his approach to this fight?
Nick Diaz is the type of guy that, training and martial arts is a lifestyle for, a guy like him. He's training year round. He's in shape year round. It looks like he's been partying year round too, just by following on Instagram. But that's the type of guy he is. That's fine as long as you're staying in shape and you're not just being a lazy dude.
Those LA clubs.
Yeah, it's entertainment, and I love that character. That's why people love him though. It's like he shows that side of his life. And he's like, screw it. Like, I'm going out, I'm having fun.
I agree.
But we'll see if 5 years out of the high level mixed martial arts game, if that's going to affect him. People always talk about ring rust or whatever that. I've never, I think there maybe is a little bit. Like when I competed, it was 7 years until I competed, or my last time I did that grappling match, and it was 7 years before I did anything. Right.
You had to be feeling that.
And I was like, oh no, ring rust. And then it actually took me, I felt like a couple minutes, like in the match
to realize,
oh, like, damn, I'm competing, like I got to turn it up.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you get that in your mentality, like, oh, I'm just going to play relaxed, but you forget, like, oh, we're actually in a fight. Like, I got to go 100%.
Yeah.
So I think Nick is no stranger to competition, but I hope he comes out hard and doesn't play it too safe in the beginning. But it is a 5-round fight, so he might just come out, play his little Nick Diaz game, kind of play with Robbie, and see where the fight takes him.
Yeah, then we all know we got Robbie Lawler on the other side of it. 28-15, 20 TKOs, longtime vet of the sport, former welterweight champion. He's coming off of 4 straight losses. RDA, Ben Askren, Kobe Covington, Neil Magny in August of 2020. So it's a great matchup because you don't want to throw Nick Diaz to the wolves and give him a top five guy. We know his mentality is coming in to fight the best guy. He's got that Nick Diaz type mentality as well. But this is a perfect matchup. They fought before. They're both a little bit older. Robbie Lawler even more. But don't get it twisted. Robbie Lawler can still throw those hands, still has heavy power. So I really love this matchup. Robbie is coming in with something to prove. They know that they're bringing Nick Diaz in to build him up and have a new cash cow in the UFC. And Robbie's coming in to spoil all that. And you're going to hear it in the press conference. He's going to say, I'm here to spoil the fun for you guys, and I'm going to take Nick Diaz out. And, watching his last fight, his hands are still there. He's susceptible to the takedown. And we know Nick Diaz is going to stand and bang the whole fight. So I think it's a pretty even matchup, to be honest. And I'm surprised that right now the money line is in favor for Robbie Lawler. I think that will straighten out when it gets closer to the fight and Nick Diaz will become the favorite. But on Robbie's side, Chris, I'd like to get your opinion. What do you think about him coming off 4 L's? Now you're fighting a guy who beat you all those years ago. This is late in your career, maybe the last or second to last fight of his career. So he's got nothing to lose. And with this matchup being a main event, he's going to get that main event $25,000 bonus. This will most likely be fight of the night. He's probably getting a little perk on his paycheck because it's a main event versus Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
So the UFC tends to, I don't agree with all their fighter pay, but when the fighters are on their way out, they paid out Diego Sanchez over $100,000 even after they canceled his fight. They definitely give bonuses to retired people that are on their last fight. They treat fighters well on their way out. I gotta admit, so they're gonna treat Robbie right. But for Robbie, what do you think about him coming in and stealing the show?
It's possible. It's definitely possible. Like, Robbie's a different fighter than he was back then. I think he's a better fighter, for one. He changed camps to Sanford MMA. I'm not sure how long he's been there, but he was with the American Top Team before.
Yep.
And kind of, did his own thing. So I don't know if he took his coaches he was working with and just kind of went to Sanford and now is working with Henry Hoof, or he just completely went to Sanford and is doing a whole new thing there. But he's a different fighter. I think he's more of a well-rounded fighter now. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to grapple. And his striking is a little bit more calculated, I feel like. He's not as throw caution to the wind type that he was before.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to play into his favor, with the boxer that Nick is. Nick's going to try to box him, and Robbie's going to have a little bit of better boxing than he did when they previously fought. So It's going to be interesting. The interesting thing for me, the most interesting, is I want to see the first round with Nick Diaz, and I'll be able to tell the rest of the fight. Like I'm like, right off the bat, I'm like, I'll see if he's just getting totally dominated by Robbie pretty quick. We'll know how the fight's going to go and how that 5 years did him. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to get in Robbie's face right away and do the classic Nick Diaz and start peppering him. And start peppering him, start putting combos together, even get him against the fence, start working the body shots, and I can see Nick finishing Robbie.
I can see that too, and I hope in camp, there's all this anti-sparring going around, and Max Holloway doesn't do any sparring now, and kudos to all these vets or these people that stay active. But for a guy like Nick Diaz, out 5 years, that when he does train, people aren't going super hard on him, retired fighter, etc. So I hope he gets in there, especially put on the headgear with Nate and get in there and get some hard rounds. I hope he's prepared because I know Robbie's going to come out guns blazing.
Oh, yeah.
I hope Nick's prepared for that. A little piece of me thinks that Robbie has the possibility of finishing Nick if he doesn't come out seriously enough. As the fight goes on, I think Nick will take over the fight and those strikes will start adding up and he can officially get the win. So for my official fight prediction, I'll lead this one. I'm going Nick Diaz. I'm a huge fan. I think gets back in the mix. Robbie's coming off of 4 L's. His confidence can't be all there. He's a little older. He's not what he used to be. I don't think he's going to be able to get the finish TKO, but I think it's going to be back and forth. They're both going to have huge respect for each other, and I think Nick is just going to out-pepper him on the feet. Robbie will have his moments, but I think it's going to end up a decision win for Nicholas Diaz.
Yeah, I'm going the same. I think Nick is going to just out cardio him. Robbie, Robbie doesn't train as hard as Nick. I don't think he does, at least.
I don't think so.
Nick's pretty crazy when it comes to that type of stuff. So if it goes past the first few rounds, like you said, Robbie's going to have his moments. He might land a few. He might rock Nick. But, Nick's really hard to finish. He's going to weather that storm. And he's going to start peppering him. And as the rounds go on, I think Nick will start turning it on, getting better and better. And, possibly even finish him in those later rounds. But I'm gonna be safe and say he's gonna get it. You know what? 4th round TKO. Nick Diaz.
Let's go. All right, I got Nick by decision. Chris has got the TKO victory for Nick. I like that 4th round too.
It's time for the main fight pick of the evening.
All right, let's go. TJ the Snake Dillashaw, 136 favorite versus Cory the Sandman Sandhagen. He's coming in as a minus 164 favorite. TJ Dillashaw coming in as the dog at plus 136. So we all know the heavy pass here with TJ Dillashaw to Team Alpha Male, his EPO 2-year suspension. He's back in the mix now. He's facing a top contender in Cory Sandhagen. Really what they did, the UFC set up TJ to get a 1 win to be a contender for that bantamweight belt because Cory Sandhagen is the top contender in that division. He's coming off 2 top 5 KOs against Frankie Edgar and versus who's the bald-headed guy?
Marlon
Moraes.
Yeah.
Okay, that spinning back kick KO. So 2 nasty finishes. So Cory Sandhagen is on the radar of the UFC. He's definitely deserving of get that next title shot. So this is a title contention fight. It's a great fight. TJ with 2 years off, he's the type of guy that stays in the gym, stays in great shape. He's training. So I expect him to come in ready to fight. He's 16-4, 8 TKOs, 3 subs. He's coming off a loss in his last fight against Henry Cejudo, and we know right after the fight is when he tested positive for that EPO that helped him cut that weight down to 125. So it's interesting with the mix-up between these guys. It's going to be a great matchup. I see this as a dead even fight. So first we'll start with TJ. Chris, give your opinion on TJ coming into this fight after 2 years off.
Yeah, I think 2 years wasn't long enough, honestly. Yeah. And, all the media that, the UFC is portraying, they don't talk once about, like what he did or, it's all about the comeback and they're building back up and just like little brush under the rug type of thing. And you got to remember that he cheated for a championship title fight with EPO. Look what happened to Lance Armstrong, like testing positive for that. Done. And, like Cody warned the UFC years ago about this, like, and now he's finally getting finally getting caught, and he did his 2 years, but now he's coming back. He's getting these lead up shows, like making him look really good.
The apology
like,
show
I
where he's
made
like,
a
I'm sorry.
mistake,
Yeah,
like dude, I was cutting weight. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, we all know, like, you've been doing that shit for years.
Yeah, that's rough.
And I'm not trying to talk bad and do it, but I'm just saying what's out there, right? Like, it's not a rumor anymore. It's not like we're not guessing anymore. He got busted for EPO. So we'll see. We'll see where his confidence is at, coming back, especially, not being on EPO.
Yeah, true.
We'll see where his confidence is at. But I personally think he's got one chance, or, he's going to try to grapple. He's going to try to grapple Cory. Sterling kind of showed the blueprint, right? Put him against the cage, wrestle him, and try to take his back. I think TJ's ground game is underestimated, and it's really good. His wrestling and jiu-jitsu combination is one of the best. So he's gonna have to expose Cory where he's not as good. Cory's better with the stand-up striking, in my opinion. He's got more range. He's got a little bit long 3-inch reach advantage, and they have previous training experience with each other to where, I would hear around the block that Cory was getting the better of the stand-up. So knowing TJ and how smart he is, he's not going to play into Cory's strengths. He's going to maybe strike a little bit,
Get on the
and
inside.
as soon as it's not going his way, or as soon as Cory thinks he's going to play that game, I think he's going to be in on his legs, and he's going to try to take Cory down. If he doesn't, I think Cory's going to land something from the outside, and use his range and use his creative striking abilities to find TJ's chin. But I think TJ's smart enough to take him down first round, make it a grappling fight, make it a long night for Cory. Where TJ's really good at.
Yeah, no, I could see that, and those definitely play to TJ's strength. He's a well-rounded guy, and appreciate the honesty there, Chris, on the breakdown. If we jump over to Cory Sandhagen, 14-2, 6 TKOs, 3 subs, well-rounded guy. He's 7-1 in the UFC. His only loss, he's on a great win streak. His only loss is being submitted by Aljamain Sterling, for the belt. And he said that that's been his biggest motivation since getting subbed, taking that L. He really felt like it was an unnecessary loss. He felt like he shouldn't have put himself in that position. And he in his interviews, he's like, I'm feeling nasty. I'm feeling determined. And he's backed it up by going out and starching Marlon Morales with a spinning heel kick. They're just landing on the butt. And I have never seen anyone put Marlon away that nasty finish. And same to a guy, Frankie Edgar, who's never been TKO'd in his career. That flying knee was just nasty,
vicious.
And it sparked him completely out. And you never want to see that on anyone, especially a vet like Frankie. So that was nasty as well. So 2 finishes in a row. And basically what they've done is given him TJ Dillashaw because Cory is banging on the door for that title shot. We know Peter Yan is lined up for it with that mix-up in the last title bout of that legal knee. So Cory's saying, okay, give me another fight, and this is the title contention fight. So it's going to be Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan, and they're going to fight, and that winner is going to face the winner of this fight. So it's definitely big fights in the bantamweight division. So on Cory Sandhagen's fight, do you think he's going to hold back on throwing those big spinning heel kicks and those big looping flying knees, the things that make him susceptible to a takedown? Do you think he's going to really keep it up boxing and calf kicks and try to keep TJ on the outside? Or do you think he's going to let it loose and try to get that wild finish like he has in the last couple fights?
I think he'll play it safe.
Yeah, I think tighten up.
Yeah. I think he'll keep tight. He knows TJ is he's more of a threat than those previous 2 fights. He's proven it time and time again, being an ex-champion, being having the most wins in the bantamweight division. You can't play caution. You can't play an aggressive game with a guy that's trying to take you down because you're going to get taken down. So I think it would be smart for Cory to play the range game. Maybe look for some some calf kicks from the outside. But yeah, it would be not smart if he went in there and just try to throw spinning shit right off the bat because you throw spinning stuff and TJ you get taken down pretty quick. So I think there's only two ways. TJ's either going to take him down and make it a long night and win a decision, get the takedowns, get the riding time, get the ground and pound. I can see TJ getting a rear naked choke too.
Yeah.
But if TJ can't get the takedown, it's going to be an early night for Cory. Like, I feel like Cory's going to land a knee or he's going to land something like pretty early. And if it doesn't, I think it's going to start favoring more TJ later in the fight.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is really very even fight, even money line type fight on this one. I think it can go either guy. For me, I'll jump out and give my prediction. I think Cory's coming out there with something to prove. Like he said, he wants to be nasty in these fights and go for the finishes. He's proved that 2 times in a row. He's hungry to get that belt back. He has no time off. He's been training. He's been taking fights. For whatever it's worth, ring rust, real or not, TJ's going to be facing that as well. There'll be a little bit of extra pressure. I'm going Cory Sandhagen in this fight. I'm taking Cory by finish. I think because it's a 5-round matchup, if it was a 3-round one, I think they're going to have a feel-out process in the first round. So then I would go decision. But I think Cory's going to find a way to get the win and get the finish over TJ. I think TJ will come in a little less confident, doesn't have his EPO on his side. He's coming off a L. And so maybe it's not quite there. So for my official FanDuel fight pick, I'm going Cory Sandhagen by TKO. Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going with that too. I think Cory Sandhagen's going to find his chin and get a KO.
All right, there we have it for the final fight pick main event. We're both going Cory the Sandman Sandhagen by KO. Thanks for watching, guys. This was the Fight Picks with the Pros, brought to you by FanDuel. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel. For those listening in podcast world, we appreciate you guys. Keep tuning in, keep listening. We'll try to give you our best picks for these fights. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Hello, everyone. Bruce Buffer here. Thank you for watching the MMA Surge YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and get notified when we upload next.